The Arista CI/CD pipeline automates the entire network lifecycle from design to deployment and aims to reduce the human error component and streamline the operational change process. The CI solution is built on top of Arista's network data lake and now includes CV Uno capabilities for proactive risk analysis of your critical applications. These application-specific analyses leverage real-time streaming telemetry, flows, metrics, packet flows from third-party switches, and events from workload integrations. This demo video showcases how the Arista CI pipeline validates operational changes against application traffic. Let's assume the network team is managing their network using the Ansible AVD collection. Here is the current ACL data model they have on their network. Suppose an admin attempts to add a couple more ACLs to the list to block specific TCP traffic. In this case, the admin adds a new ACL to block TCP port 60,000 traffic and another ACL to block SSH traffic on leaf 1B. At this point, after saving the file, the admin builds the configuration using the Ansible playbook command. You will notice the configuration on leaf 1B has changed. If we examine the CLI changes, you will see two new ACLs added to block both port 60,000 and port 22 SSH traffic. Now, let's assume the admin decides to commit these changes to their upstream repository and trigger the CI/CD pipeline. Typically, since there are no evident configuration errors or build failures, the configuration would be immediately pushed into the network. However, with CV Uno, you now have the opportunity to proactively assess any risks and determine whether the configuration changes could result in application traffic failures. For example, here you see the admin is committing the configuration to the upstream repo. And if you look at the build process, you will see a job is getting triggered and it's currently running. Admin clicks on it to see the entire log. And after the build run, we see the build fails due to application conflicts. As seen on the log here, the CI/CD build process failed because several flows on port 60,000 are part of an ERP application and its services, specifically called InventoryDB and CoreCDS, are communicating on this port. Quickly navigating to the CloudVision Uno and locating this particular ERP application from the Uno application dashboard, and then inside this app clicking on the Flows tab, we can identify these specific traffic flows. Here is the service dependency graph for this ERP application and the services in question, InventoryDB and CoreCDS. Clearly, they are communicating, and zooming into these flows shows port 60,000 traffic. Therefore, it's fortunate the build process failed. Otherwise, this critical ERP application traffic would have been inadvertently blocked by a simple ACL rule. To remedy this, let's assume the admin decides to remove the ACL rule for port 60,000 and rebuild the configuration. Once successful, commit these changes upstream. The build runs again, and this time there are no validation errors from Uno. Thus, no application traffic will be impacted by this change. This demo illustrates how CV Uno data integrated into NetDL enhances the Arista CI pipeline validation. This integration enables pre-flight checks for your critical application traffic, thereby mitigating misconfigurations and improving network uptime. Thanks for watching.